And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from, if I got this name right, it is Kenny in my Swampity Swamp, if I got that right. Who asked the question, who win a fight, Cyborg or Megaman X? Now, I have done Cyborg versus Megaman long before I actually put the image in front of the camera, back in the dark days, before the Empire, before images were a thing. I did that Who Would Win, and I gave my input on that. But we should know that there are different versions of Mega Man, and Mega Man X is a different version of Mega Man. He, in fact, is an improved version of the original Mega Man. He is said to be superior to the original Mega Man in pretty much any which way. So, again, versus Cyborg, how would he fare? How would he fare against Cyborg? Would he serve as a better match to Cyborg than the original Mega Man, I thought, did? Obviously, you want my actual opinion on that, you can go watch my video. But spoilers, I do think Cyborg would beat the original Mega Man. So, that being said, would Mega Man X beat Cyborg? Well, with Cyborg, first off, we got to get out of the way what Cyborg's deal is. And Cyborg, we should note, his origin changes a little bit depending on which iteration, like you're dealing with Rebirth, New 52, the original lineup. But in summary, it always ends up being the same story in terms of origin, with different catalysts for the origin. Victor Stone was a college football player who was in an accident, and his father, in a desperate hope to save his life, basically gave him cybernetic parts, making him cyborg. Now that origin changes a bit between iterations. He has like mother box technology in him when it comes to the New 52 version. I don't know exactly the other version's origins per se, but it's not quite, his link to Darkseid isn't anywhere near as strong as some of the other versions. But still, as Cyborg, he possesses immense durability and strength. Like, his physical capabilities are jacked up to, the extreme. He can't go toe-to-toe with someone like Superman or anything like that, but he can go toe-to-toe with some physically impressive foes in the DC universe, like Mammoth, thinking of a couple other ones here, Blockbuster, a Bane, easy. He could easily take on a Bane if he had to. Like, his strength output is definitely in the much higher tiers, but not in like the top tier. Like, he can't compete with like a Wonder Woman, a Martian Man, or a Superman, or Dark. He can't compete with those guys. He's like if you're looking at tiers from being like F, D, or excuse me, S being the highest, as for some reason S goes above A. S, A, B, C, D. We'll say D is the lowest. Cyborg is probably not to use my middle finger, but is the middle tier. He's probably the B tier in terms of strength. Like, he's a really powerful individual physically, but he's also very durable. His technology gives him a high level of durability, and it can repair itself. It has to do it over a certain amount of time. It's not like super nanotech, just, I'm injured, haha, I'm healed. No, that's not it, but it can repair itself given enough time. But Cyborg's biggest advantages are honestly the amount of variety his tech allows. He does have like rocket jet propulsion that allows him to fly. It seems to constantly upgrade over his course of his life as it gets more input. Its supercomputer is capable of amazing analytics, detailing key weaknesses on an opponent, strategies, interfacing with other technology. His arm is famous for turning into the sonic cannon, which is basically firing a compressed beam of sound that's used to blow away opponents. And if an opponent's got a sound-based weakness, that's even better. But he does have a laser. He does, I believe, have like an electrical system for like defense systems, all that. He's very varied in his multitude of tech. He can be hacked, but his security system is so advanced that it would take a lot to hack his security system. Keep in mind, too, that he is still, by all accounts, he is still a human. But a cyborg isn't not human, but it's also not human. Because you could have a cyborg, like, of a different species. You could have a cyborg animal, like a cyborg lion, a crocodile cyborg, an ostrich cyborg. I'm throwing random animals out here. Alien cyborgs. So, by all accounts, he is still technically human, but he's just cybernetically enhanced to a huge degree. And because of that, he isn't bound by something like the Terminator, who is just a pure machine, who just thinks, even though it's a learning machine, it's still a machine. He can think outside the box. Still, though, he's not invulnerable. He's been beaten multiple times. Super heavy hitters will take him out. He is still weak to viruses, things along those lines. Again, it takes a seriously powerful virus to override his system, but he's still weak to it. Anything on high energy could not short him out, but fry his circuits to a large degree. But still, he's one of the more versatile, one of the more beloved heroes, honestly, in the DC fandom. And I think that comes from representation purposes. The fact that he's just a cool character. Although I'll admit, Justice League, as much as I like the Justice League movie, I'll admit that didn't do a lot of favors to Cyborg. Although I thought Ray Fisher was fine in the role for what they used him for. I thought the effects work was pretty solid on him. So it is what it is. Megaman X, as I said, is a better version of the original Megaman. He was actually, I know his origin is that he was actually, not in prison. That's not the right term. He was kept sealed away for years and years and years. And then basically when a brutal virus, what was the name of the virus? I can't remember exactly. What was it, that virus's name? He's immune to it. Is it the Sigma virus? Is that because Sigma's the name of the bad guy? But is that also what the virus is called? I'm actually forgetting this. Let's see here. I'm trying because I got the wiki up because I had to basically be sure on like some of the information on this guy. What is the? Well, anyway. There's a virus that goes around and basically possesses robots and corrupts them, everything along those lines. He's immune to it though, but Sigma, the bad guy, is actually, kind of possessed by the virus in some ways. So he's kind of like the main antagonist to it. And he's designed to be a fully functioning humanoid android. Unlike Cyborg, he is, despite his face, an android. He is a robot. But he is a fully functioning, fully functioning sentient being. He is completely free will, sentience, and independent thought. He is legitimately, if you were to just put a human mind in a robot body, that is what he is. Age-wise, though, he is no more than like 14 to 15 in terms of his actual AI age. So he's matured as time passes, though. In human terms, he's still only about 14 or 15, though. He weighs, roughly speaking, about 125 pounds. He's about 5'3", which makes him, even at Cyborg's smallest incarnations, a lot shorter than Cyborg. But does give him a bit of a agility advantage. His armor is an internal skeleton is made of a reactive, super flexible armored skeleton, which reduces damage by 93%. Impressive. His body skin is a lightweight titanium X alloy. It's very light metal. It's a very light and resistant metal. Resistant against heat and shots. It's the strongest metal in the world. At least in that, let's be honest. It's the strongest metal in Mega Man's world. Take that and go up against adamantium. No. From what we've seen of adamantium, Mega Man would get sliced in half by Wolverine. But point being that it's a very durable body that he has. His head part includes a broad-range eye camera, basically his eyes. He can also see spectrums of light beyond human eyes, probably ultraviolet, infrared, things along those lines. His ears can basically hear above the normal human frequency range, including hearing ultrasonic sounds. His voice recognition system may refer to acute voice recognition in low volume clarity situations, basically being able to identify voices in a very particular range. His body parts include accumulative energy generation. Basically, he stores solar energy, and that's what powers him. In essence, he's kind of a cybernetic Superman. He is powered and continually powered by solar energy. As long as he's got access to it, he's probably got an indefinite amount of energy. Now, granted, the rate of which it is absorbed and consumed and converted into his body's energy, that I don't think is indicated. It's very possible he could empty his entire reserve, but because of the rate he's going, like if he's at 100%, uses 100% of his energy. By the time he's used it all up, he might be back to like 25% of his actual full energy at the rate he absorbs energy. We just don't know. But using ultra-compact fuel tank, a large quantity of microfuel is stored in an ultra-compact tank. Basically, this is used for when it's like night or in dark places or like underwater or underground where it's impossible for him to renew his solar energy. It's his backup energy. Center joint control system, basically it's what allows him to move. His arm parts include his X-Buster, which is basically his buster. This converts basically solar energy into pellets, or like basically the attacks you see, the round energy shots that you see him fire. And he can use charge shots as well. Unfortunately, he can't use a beam because that would like drain his energy way too quick. That's why it's short control bursts or a charge shot. He has as an amplification device, stores energy to release more powerful charge shots. We just brought that up. Variable weapon system. That's usually most of the Mega Man's trademark techniques, is the variable weapon system. Allows him to copy, he has to use weapons or systems copied from other robots or reptoids. So, in essence, he can copy any robot's, a system of attack that he sees fit to, and use it. It's not even explained fully how he does it. Either one of his arms may take the form of an X-Buster. With upgrades, X can use 2 X-Busters simultaneously for double charge shots. In the Deus Sigma OVA continuity, the arms can detach at will, as demonstrated by X late into the film. Interesting. His leg parts include a full auto balancer, allows him basically to keep his balance and stability. Emergency acceleration system, basically super speed dashes. That's how he's able to dash up walls, things along those lines. His main abilities are his X-Buster, variable weapon system, and he apparently does have armor parts. So looking into armor parts real quick, he does carry a lot of them, from what I can tell, and they do aid him. But the problem is, it doesn't look like any of these armor parts really. Yeah, here we go. Now I'm actually finding it. Really would up him enough that it would be a deciding factor in the fight. I mean, yes, some of these do provide a couple extra abilities, but nothing that, from what I can find, that would really be definitive here. Unfortunately, that like a definitive. What's the word I'm looking for? It would be a definitive like win here. And again, he's got a lot of these, but ultimately, I don't think they would really factor much into the fight. They would just be. They might give like little upgrades, but I don't think they close the gap enough for a victory or a loss. So, yeah, I'm not really going to include them. If I remember, it now was because I'm remembering a lot from Death Battle when they did the Royale, which I actually got right, which is impressive. I called the winner on that. I'm trying to remember if it was X or it was the one. It was X who was dealing with the Mother Elf, basically is what I'm trying to say. I don't think it was. He was dealing with Sigma. Mother Elf, I believe, was the one where it was like the radio wave thing or whatever. Like, I don't know what that was about. That was a weird Mega Man. I didn't even know that one existed until that video. But at point being, these two meet in a fight. Now, let's assume that Dr. Light, was upset this creation was destroyed, something he kind of considered his son, and I'm just going to move that back there. Trying to move it to make it a little bit more centered. And he makes Mega Man X. And eventually Mega Man X goes out, kind of stopping guys, and he comes across Cyborg. So, what happens here? So, Mega Man, Cyborg, remembering the past encounter with the original Mega Man he had in my previous videos, he's like, you again? Didn't I take care of you? Now, let's also be clear, these two characters ultimately wouldn't fight. I get that. Let's get that out of the way right now. They would not fight, but if they fought, how would it happen? Because that's the thing. I oftentimes will get characters that would not fighting each other, so I have to now basically preface it. And I get people saying, these guys wouldn't fight. It's like, we know that, but that's part of the fun. I was like, why you gotta be such a Debbie Downer, man? Now, some of them understand and have fun with it. They like Iroh and Dashi in my last video. It's like, we both know these guys wouldn't fight. They'd just have tea together and hang out. Trade stories and stuff like that. That'd actually be a really cool comic. I'd love to read that. But these, Cyborg is analyzing him. I thought I beat you last time. And he's wait, his technology, his systems have been upgraded. He seems to be a much more capable modeled in the last one. It's like, yeah, sorry, that's not gonna. Sorry, I can't let you continue wreaking havoc on this world. It can't you continue wreaking havoc? Is it? What are you talking about? You guys were you guys were attacking me last time. Um, and he's copying Cyborg systems just as much as Cyborg is copying his. So the question immediately is, how effectively would the weapon adapt system, variable weapon system, excuse me, work on Cyborg? Well, I think he would definitely be able to copy the sonic cannon. Would he be able to copy all of the systems of Cyborg? And the answer to that I think is no. Because Cyborg's brain is still mostly human. He's got a computer in there, but it's still mostly human. And because of that, there's variables in there that Mega Man can't decipher because he's not fully machine. So I think he would definitely get like the weaponry on Cyborg he would copy. He would definitely do that because that's something he can visibly just say, like, okay, I can copy that. It's a machine. But once you get to like trying to analyze the brain and stuff like that, it's like, nope, can't get through that. I think Cyborg's human components actually protect the robotic components of his brain from being copied in this case. But again, in terms of his weapons, oh yeah, those get copied. So he does copy. So he's got Cyborg's sonic cannon, but he's also still got his Mega Buster, his X Buster as well. So they clash. Now again, Cyborg outmuscles, out durabilities Mega Man just in terms of sheer size. Like he's like a good couple, it's like not a couple feet, but he's a good foot taller than Mega Man, and he seriously outweighs him by a good couple 100 pounds. And unlike Mega Man, Cyborg has actually been tested on the field multiple times. Yes, eventually he got tested on the field as well when he got released. But more to the point is that Cyborg was a professional athlete. He was a college athlete. He was a football player. He knows how to get in there and use his physical stature to his advantage. So Mega Man comes in, fires the solar bullets or solar sauce. Maybe even fires a charge shot and hits him with the sonic cannon. Now, does any of that even hurt Cyborg? The the standard solar bullets would probably be nothing more than like a little concussive blast to him. Like they wouldn't do much. They'd push him back a bit, but they wouldn't do much. A charge shot might actually singe him a bit, but Cyborg has tanked far greater and more dangerous weapons before. He's dealt with parademons. He's dealt with Atlanteans. He's dealt with many different types of hitters of the DC universe who are far more dangerous than Mega Man. And he's taken those blows relatively fine. Again, he's been beaten by much stronger foes, but still, he's taken those blows relatively fine. So it's likely that Mega Man's standard weaponry really wouldn't do much unless he's getting some really heavy charges, like a double charge shot. That might actually do something if he's not careful. Using his own sonic cannon against him is an interesting concept, to be fair. The question becomes whether or not that actually hurts him. I think it would definitely be something that he's not expecting, even though in this version he already fought the original Mega Man, so he knows that these guys can copy his weapons. But Mega Man X is basically, firing a lot of them using a combination of sonic and solar would actually be quite interesting. Maybe using a charge shot and then blasting with the sonic cannon, hitting Cyborg. But of course, I say all this like Cyborg's going to just sit there and take it. No, he's not. He might take a couple of those shots, but he's quickly going to close the gap and close the field and get into an actual physical altercation. Now, the question is, how well do these guys actually fare in a physical altercation with each other? They're both machines. They're both pretty well built. But Cyborg, again, he's got the advantage of actually being human. Yes, free will, sentience, ability to choose, all that. But Cyborg is actually human. He actually can think on a more broad spectrum than Mega Man X can. At least in theory he can. Add on to the fact that he is just physically more durable, I would imagine, and physically tougher. That would pose a problem, especially when he gets in close, maybe point blanks like a sonic cannon in X's face. Now, X isn't just going to be like, I'm destroyed. He certainly can take some hits. Despite the fact that, like I said, his titanium alloy X, or whatever it's called, what is it called again? It's a His armor is a titanium X alloyed. It is a very light and metal, light, and it's a metal resistant to heat and shots. So because of that, Cyborg's sonic cannon actually wouldn't be doing a lot. But again, it might be like kind of warping the metal a little bit, but he'd probably have to hold him like he'd probably have to do like a Goku Dragon Ball Z kind of thing where the opponent just gets hit with the blast and just takes it for a few moments. That might start to warp it a little bit, but it's designed to resist the heavy shots. So Cyborg's cannon actually isn't doing much. Unfortunately, we come down to when we're talking about a physical altercation, Megaman's not going to be able to do much against Cyborg either. He's much lighter, much smaller. He's faster, more agile, sure, which means he might be able to get hits in, but that's not going to be mattering if the hits aren't doing much. He might like try to throw a punch and fire his X-Buster and hit Cyborg, and that might like be like an enhanced punch. But ultimately, he's just not going to have enough power to do enough damage to do much to Cyborg. Add on the fact that Cyborg systems can repair themselves over time as well. This is just a battle of attrition for a while. Ultimately, it's going to come down to the question of, can one hack the other? And if Megaman had been able to copy Cyborg's systems, then yeah, he could have hacked Cyborg theoretically. But the problem is that I think the human part of Cyborg's brain being human means A, he can't copy the human part, and B, it protects, I think, the machine part because they're kind of integrated with each other. But Cyborg's not immune from hacking Mega Man. Now, Mega Man's immune to the virus in his world, but that's his world, and that's a virus. Cyborg is not doing this. Cyborg's just hacking him. And it might take a little bit because he is a sentient robot, but all he has to do is eventually get him like a bear hug, keep him still, keep him in place, and then just kind of hack into his head and basically shut him down temporarily. And ultimately, I think that is how that fight ends, where, yeah, and again, ultimately, he'd probably wake him up and be like, what was that about? And all this, and they'd reconcile. It's like, okay, let's go fight bad guys together. That's ultimately what would happen. But I think the fact that while Mega Man X is immune to the virus of his own world, it is like it's not like a computer virus in the same sense that, oh, it's a program. It is like a actual virus in his world. Now, granted, it only affects reptoids and robots, but still, it is like a virus in his world. So while he may be immune to that, and maybe even immune to some level of hacking, Cyborg has been able to hack Darkseid's technology. Apocalyptic technology is not weak technology. It's pretty high tier, and Mega Man is not that advanced. So I do think it comes down to Cyborg hacking Mega Man and shutting him down, at least for the time being. There we go. So I got a little stuff caught in my throat there. Ultimately, though, that's my thoughts. I think Cyborg within the fight. I think it'd be a fun fight to watch. I would be down to watch like Death Battle do this fight. Hell, I'd be down to watch them do a fight with any Cyborg versus match. But ultimately, again, what do you think? Put in the comments below. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything you're doing on the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. Hit that bell if you want notifications. I've got 2 more videos to do today. I got my Shingami Captain Class video and my Zanpakuto Theory video. I was able to find one other person to add to the list, too. I can't believe I forgot the list. So, to be fair, we're on the bare bones minimum. Like, after this next Zanpakuto Theory video, we only got 2 left. And then I'm pretty much run out of Zanpakuto to talk about. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.